Amor Layuni also come in, confirming the depth in this Wanderers outfit as Kusini Yengi and Yeni Bakuto join Oliver Bozanic on the bench this evening. Our referee is in the middle there, as we see, Mile Sturjovski, his 10th match in charge this season since taking over. And the home record is much better than the away record, 4 consecutive losses on the road. And he is looking here this evening to make it 3 home games without defeat. Marco Rudan, well, he is on track to record his best ever season of points return with the club after the 40 he got in his first season with Wellington Phoenix back in 18-19. Our referee for this evening's clash is Ben Abraham, being assisted by Greg Taylor and Brad Wright. Kate Yachevitz is our VAR referee. Lockie Rose is captain tonight. He has more appearances than any other Macarthur player, and he was on the score sheet last weekend, giving them the lead against Perth, before Perth came back to add more woes to the Bulls. Morgan Schneiderlin, 16 caps for Les Bleus. Manchester United, Southampton, Everton in the English top flight as well for the man from Strasbourg. And captain for Western Sydney, Milos Ninkovic. Lawrence Thomas in goal. He's got the second best save percentage of any keeper in the league this season, just behind Newcastle's reserve keeper now, Jack Duncan. Number 3 on that list is Philip Curto, who's also had a fantastic season. I can tell you, the referee is just doing a few warm-up passes on the pitch as well with the Macarthur players. Or perhaps he was just clearing the ball off the pitch, because now we are all set for a start. Well, these two sides have met twice already this season, and it has been 2 resounding victories by 4-0 for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Another win to make it a hat-trick in this newest of Sydney derby matches between the Western Sydney Wanderers and the Campbelltown-based Macarthur Bulls. Andy Harper, 3 in a row, and Western Sydney will almost certainly be returning to finals football.
Robbie, very good evening. Beautiful, beautiful night for A-League men's football. Big result earlier tonight for Brisbane. It dispels any notion going into this weekend that they weren't involved in the run-in deeply. Now they can reasonably believe that they can get the points to make the 6. Can Macarthur do the same? They need to win here tonight. The pitch is beautiful. It's a good turnout as well, which is going to encourage the Macarthur owners and the fans in good numbers to support their team across the line. Hopefully they'll think for 3 points and to stay in the race. And the Wanderers, of course, with their eyes on a different prize, needing to bounce back after their loss last week.
The 10th game in charge since taking over from Dwight York for Mile Sturjovski. It's been 2 wins, 2 draws and 5 losses, but if you're looking for positives, and there is Mile Sturjovski on the right with Jacob Burns to his left, James Meredith, former Socceroo, next along that line, one of the assistant coaches. 2 wins and 2 draws to go with just 1 loss at home under Mile Sturjovski here at Campbelltown Stadium. And another potential cause for hope and optimism is the fact that Western Sydney, in between 2 away wins over Sydney FC in big derby results, went 8 matches without an away win this season, and have been knocked off at home last time out by Adelaide as well. They're missing Marcelo, their captain, who had a very eventful week, sent off, scored and signed a new contract. All in the week for Marcelo, who watches from the stands tonight. Nieuwenhof with Layuni trying to dribble his way through. Nieuwenhof now does likewise. Ninkovic with the captain's armband in the absence of Marcelo. Ball in and the header from the returning Socceroo, Brandon Borello.
A difficult attempt from Brandon Borello, but he's at the top of his game at the moment, I must say. Not expecting to see the Western Sydney Wanderers use that action now. Difficult effort, comfortable for Curto. Not expecting to see the Western Sydney Wanderers playing in a shade of green, but I must say it's a very, very fetching playing strip, Robbie, and it makes you realise green is one colour missing from the A-League men's palette. I wonder if potential expansion teams will have taken note.
Oh, Canberra United have a certain shade of green, don't they? On their way, not next season, but the season after, if all goes according to plan. 2 more sides for the 2024-25 season, earmarked to be in Canberra and Auckland in New Zealand, and then 2 more 12 months later, which will take the league to 16 teams in 3 years' time. Home and away over 30 rounds. Stuff of dreams. And let's hope soon to be a reality. Starting debut for Oliver Jones at the back, and here's Ali Ugla down the left. He's a tricky little customer, the former Western Sydney youngster himself, who turned out once for the red and black stripes as Vujic's ball across the face. Lockie Rose keeps it in play down in front of the travelling supporters for Western Sydney, making plenty of noise. McGing, low ball into the area, and Schneiderlin turns it behind for a corner, first of the match.
Very good start for Macarthur. Must come into this game a little bit anxious, a little bit apprehensive because of their ladder position. And apart from that overhit effort from Vujic, it was a really, really smooth piece of attacking play from Macarthur.
Ugla to deliver, and it comes towards McGing, who scored the winning goal against Brisbane here a couple of weeks back. A 3-2 victory, a real thriller. Amalfitano with his compatriot Morgan Schneiderlin. Yeni Bakoto is on the bench this evening, dropped, the French-born Congo international. There's a certain Gallic accent to this Western Sydney Wanderers side these days. Beadling with Adama Traore. Also communicates in French to his French teammates. Here's Aidan Simmons, the youngster, who's holding down that right back position in the absence of Gabriel Clerc. Was expected to be back and was named in the potential squad a couple of days ago, but does not feature on the team sheet. In fact, there's only Alexander Bonatig on the bench for Western Sydney in terms of recognisable defensive options. Oli Bozanic in midfield, and then Yengi, Milanovic, Carluccio, Bakuto, all very much attacking options for Marco Rudan. Ollie Jones at the centre, at the back. Ali Ugla finding Vujic, the cross in. Adama Traore, now Miller. Little flick out the side for McGing. The cross, Ugla leaping. Brought down by Borello with Ninkovic. And a foul against Jake Holman.
Well, that led some pressure off the Wanderers, but it was good play again from Macarthur. And our very first sights of Ollie Jones on debut. There's the foul, inadvertent as it was, but still a foul by Jakey Holman. Our first opportunity to watch Oliver Jones, strapping lad, beautiful, crafted, cultured left foot. He's already in evidence. He, of course, has come through the same age group as recently minted Socceroo Alexander Robertson. Part of that same cohort, Ryan Teague, one of the eastern suburbs of Sydney, in Father Mark Robertson's academy. Really impressive, very early stage. Into his senior career, Ollie Jones, number 41. There he is on the penalty spot.
Borello turning, looking inside for Liuni. Lovely control. It wasn't an easy one. He was surrounded by black and white shirts. Vujica. Back again with Jones. "28 minutes in the A-League for Jones before tonight. This is the starting debut against the Phoenix and then Glory last weekend. As here goes Borello on the charge into the area. Lord Bacchus was there to lend a hand, but it was almost a case of too many cooks spoiling the broth there for a moment. With Borello looking to pounce. His first goal for the national team against Ecuador in Melbourne. And a goal scorer in both matches against Macarthur already this season, Brandon Borello. He's enjoyed a fantastic campaign, 8 goals and 3 assists to his name. He's getting close to 100 A-League matches as well, as here goes Lockie Rose, who tries it from distance. He's got a very attackingly positioned Matthew Miller alongside him. Saved by Lawrence Thomas.
A beautiful burst. Ali Ugla actually made the opportunity initially without necessarily realising it, and this to me is the beauty of Lockie Rose. He is a great example of a backyard sportsman. When you're playing with your mates, they're the efforts that you try. Unfortunately, a lot of kids with talent are in some of the pathways and institutions. They lose that instinct.
Well played, Bacchus, getting out of a tight spot, which included misses Ninkovic and Nieuwenhof. Well, that's also one little change that Mile Stojovski has made to this Macarthur side, and it's playing his top scorer, Matt Miller, in a very offensive role on the right-hand side of the attack, with McGing at right back.
By which you mean attacking.
Here he is.
Inoffensively. Trying to do his job.
Holman. Just poking the ball through, and Miller gets back to cover that right side. Holman, who's one and only A-League goal came against Western Sydney last year. No surprise there. Macarthur are the side that have made the least passes of any A-League side this season, with the lowest success rate for completed passes as well. Amazing, considering the technical talent in the team.
And that's a double whammy if ever there was one.
Well, it's a side that look to defend deep and counter-attack, play risky passes, with haste.
They look pretty good to start this game against Western Sydney Wanderers, who will be completely focused on making sure they don't notch up back-to-back losses this close from the playoffs. That's not Macarthur's concern. They've got their own immediate issues, and that's to claw themselves away from the foot of the table. Only Melbourne Victory below them. They can play Perth tomorrow, with the opportunity to go past Sydney if they can win that match, which would leave Victory rooted to the bottom of the ladder.
There is the ladder, and there you can see it. Victory for Macarthur. And they will climb up behind Sydney with 28 points. Western Sydney can climb level with the Mariners. Murchula.
Win for Macarthur, just to consolidate that last graphic, boost them 4 places up the ladder. That's how tight things are. It's a great comp.
Western Sydney will not only be looking to avoid back-to-back defeats this close to the finals, but also stop collecting all these red cards, which are starting to become quite problematic. Marcelo, who this evening misses his automatic one-match ban, but his case has been put to the tribunal, which we'll have another look at it this week. His repeated headlocks against Adelaide, which have got him in hot water. He could be facing, well, at least one extra match. He's already been sent off once before this season as Amalfitano looks for Borrello, but he hasn't been alone in recent weeks. Adama Traore was sent off, Yening Bakoto was sent off, and so was Tommy Murchula as well a couple of weeks back. So they've been taking turns, and they've been missing. There's also been yellow card suspensions to the likes of Gabriel Clerc. There's the bench. Bakoto is there. Dropped this evening. Cassini Yengi as well. Oli Bozanic, who was starring once he'd shaken off injury at the start of the season, but the arrival of Morgan Schneiderlin in the centre of midfield has relegated him to the bench. Certainly is depth in this Wanderers side. 28 players used this season. That's second only to Melbourne Victory for the most players used this term. And at the other end of that scale, Melbourne City, only 20 players used so far. Wellington Phoenix, 21. Everyone else is in between. Ugla, dispossessed. Ninkovic able to turn away from Bacchus and look for Layuni down this right-hand side. That combination was deadly for Sydney FC. Here's Layuni still with Simmons. Early cross. Kwiatsa. Clears long as Beedling had a fistful of Lockie Rose's jersey. Lockie Rose still lamenting loudly so that referee Ben Abraham can hear. Murchula. Get it back from 27-year-old Tom Beedling. His 5th start of the campaign. Nicely done, Amalfitano. Ninkovic for Traore. Borrello. Simmons now. Oh, clever little pass for Amalfitano. Now Borrello. So dangerous and explosive in those situations. Deflected behind corner.
They worked their way through nicely, the Wanderers. The field was broken up on halfway with a little ball over the top. And then Ninkovic turned beautifully to feed the ball out to the left, and then the momentum for the Wanderers started to build. Still required some pretty good pass and move, tight, nice control. It was the shoulder of Aspro Potamides deflected the ball over for this corner.
Schneider delivers and claimed by Curto. Releases Tony De Silva quickly. Holman was very tightly marshalled there. Kieran Bacchus. Now looking for Lockie Wales. It's a good ball, hits it first time. He didn't really have any other option. Lockie Rose, but couldn't beat Lawrence Thomas. Entertaining start to this one. Here's Amalfitano again with Borrello. Again, Western Sydney getting numbers forward. They have quite the attacking artillery out there as well. Simmons. Nieuwenhof. He's been amongst the goals recently. 3 in his last 6. And Simmons into the air. Oh, he did that brilliantly. Went down under the challenge from Aspro Potamides. And everyone is asking the referee whether VAR should have a look at that or not.
I think they had two clips of him there. Firstly, it was Aguilar who just yanked him back, and then Jonathan Aspro steps into the way. I'm not sure that's going to be given as a penalty. There's the first one. If he goes down on the Aguilar touch, I reckon he does get a penalty. This is not completely cut and dried. It depends on the view of the angle. It's the pushing away with the arm which could have cooked Jonathan Aspro. But the view, defendably, is not a clear and obvious error.
And perhaps what we can take away from that was a very nice little touch in the box from Aidan Simmons as well. Here's Amalfitano. Borrello with Simmons again. 9th appearance of the season for this youngster who only signed a 2-year scholarship deal in June 2022. Had spent time at Sydney FC before that, now finds his place and his home in the West. Debuted this season against Western United and was one of Marco Rudan's surprises for that 4-0 Sydney derby at right back, where he has really seized that opportunity in the absence of Gabriel Clare. Marco Rudan, the gatekeeper of that technical area there. Standing tall, an imposing figure, who vehicles this Western Sydney identity, demands that his players reflect it as well. And here they are, looking to move equal third on the ladder, with 3 and a bit matches left to play in the regular campaign. A return to finals football looks on the cards, barring a complete disaster in the final matches. For the first time in 6 seasons for the Wanderers. Layuni, no foul by Vujitsa, did just enough. Vujitsa back now with Oliver Jones. Aspro Potamides. It's Macarthur side who are without their stars like Daniel Arzani, Uli Davila, their captain at the back, Tommy Uscock. The Georgian striker, there's Traore. Let's fly from distance, and I think Philip Curto's dive was for the cameras as much as anything.
Well, it's always good, I think, to see Adama Traore push forward. He might, over the course of his career, have scored more goals than he's actually been able to muster. When Adama Traore is pushing forward, it's generally a good sign. And the team is settled, positive in mindset.
Little touch for Ninkovic. Aspropotamides hesitated. Here's Launi now against Vujica. Well defended.
Well, a couple of words being said in the Macarthur defence. Aspropotamides has been excellent this season, but geez, he hesitated badly there. That could have really brought them unstuck. Vujica did a good job on Launi.
Scored 16 goals in their last 6 matches, which is nearly 3 a game for Western Sydney, who have a reputation as being defensive. They're belying that in recent weeks. Mind you, they do have the best defence in the land, so only half the equation is not adding up in recent weeks as they've found some attacking verve. Macarthur, 41 goals conceded at nearly 2 per game, have the worst defence in the land. Here's Borrello. Schneiderlin was making that run forward.
Western United and Newcastle Jets both losing important games. 3-0 this weekend. They're giving Macarthur a bit of a run for the worst defensive record trophy.
Let's head down to Tristan McManus on the sideline, enjoying the atmosphere, Tristan, as always, at the A-League.
Oh, you better believe it, yeah. There's a great atmosphere here. I've been to Campbelltown a lot. Tonight, I think so far has been the best. You know, it's a derby. It's a best of the West tonight. And they've started well. They're pumping up the crowd. I wasn't expecting them to start the game like this. I thought we might have seen a little bit more like they came out against Melbourne City. They're going to have to make it count, though, soon enough, I reckon, because you know the quality that Western Sydney Wanderers have. I like Wanderers the way they're set up right now. I think they're a better team when they have Malafitano coming off the left. I think he offers a little bit more than Yengi does, but I think this is a game from Ninkovic. I wouldn't be alone in thinking that. I think Wanderers need a little bit more from Ninkovic. This could be the game for it. But look at really positive start from the Bulls. I like what they're doing. Great to see Lockie Rose taking the captain's armband as well. I know he just found out before kick-off. He deserves it. He's got the best attitude in the team.
Fantastic, Tristan. Yes, good moment for LA Rose, as it says on the back of the shirt. Adama Traore. It's his 60th appearance for the Bulls. Lockie Rose. Last week he scored his 8th goal for the club. He hasn't always been first choice in front of goal. Up front for the Bulls. He scored some important goals for them as well. As I mentioned, most capped player. Charles Monbois has passed 50 caps. So too Alexander Shushnyar, who's still missing with injury. There's Launi for Borrello. Down to the byline, cuts it back. Aspropotamides with the header away. And now Miller wins it back for Macarthur as they look to burst forward, and Miller, the player to try it as well. Now Murchula. It's a yellow card, not for Tommy Murchula, but for Nieuwenhof.
Well, this had a bit of danger on it, but Aspro does well. Callum Nieuwenhof's header's not brilliant, and Matt Miller surges away Precise and desperate tackle from Merchula. That's a great adjustment from the central defender there. That's not easy at all. Clean as well. But Neuenhoff did get the card for the foul that was a little bit earlier in that lead-up. Just a brilliant game a couple of weeks ago in the Sydney Derby. Callum Neuenhoff, he's got this little hurdle which he's got to overcome, Robbie, and that is the big international trip with under-23s for the international break. Got back late for preparation time for the Adelaide game, and now with the dust all settling on that, clear his head and get back to that brilliant Sydney Derby form. He's been great for the Wanderers all year. But that was the benchmark. Needs to get back up to their quick smart.
Jed Drew was part of that squad as well, the Olyroos squad, who is on the bench this evening. Long from Beadling. One for Laiuni to chase. He was also involved in that international break with Tunisia, earning his 4th and 5th international caps. Here is Neuenhoff. Little touch outside for Simmons, who's forced his way into the national youth team reckoning as well. Schneiderlin with Ninkovic. Outside for Amor Laiuni. One-on-one with Vujica. Laiuni trying to bring it back onto that left foot. Schneiderlin hits it from distance, blocked. And now Danny De Silva brings it away, squeezing it through to Holman. The break is on again for Macarthur. Early ball for Rose. Running the angle. Back for Holman. Oh, he tried to get in and then went pirouetting and falling to the ground. Now he claims he was touched. Whistles from the crowd. First viewing, it didn't look like there was too much in it. But half an hour gone and this match has found its pattern. Hard to tell whether there was early contact in that move, certainly not in the latter stages. Ninkovic with Borrello. Back from Neuenhoff. Great run from Schneiderlin as well, really purposeful out of midfield. Alongside Neuenhoff, there's 2 number 6s. Potomides, who is the senior partner at 26 years of age of this centre of defence for Macarthur. De Silva with Holman. It's a young Macarthur side, and Mile Sturjovski's not afraid to give the youngsters their opportunity. De Silva for Rose. Lockie Rose tries it from distance and perhaps just spotting Lawrence Thomas a couple of metres off his line.
Well, this gives them great movement. Something classic. Back to goal, played into their feet. Lockie Rose to roll and get advancing midfielders to join in, although that's part of it. But generally, it's his movement, his ability to get in behind defenders. We've seen a couple of great runs for him. And then when he does get the ball face forward and the goal's within range, his first option is, can I score? And I find it quite refreshing, actually, Robbie.
Schneiderlin again, over the top for Laiuni. He gets a toe on it, in towards Borrello, and now the follow-up from Amalfitano. And that was a pretty good sighting on goal, all things considered, for Roman Amalfitano.
Just off balance too as he hit it, but it was in great space, good range. Lovely little ball over the top, great run from Launi. Frustrated with himself, understandably so, as these chances go. That was not a bad one.
Again, much of the game being concentrated on this near side of the pitch. Macarthur breaking forward, locked down this left-hand side, and Western Sydney attacking down the right with Launi. Simmons back, and you can hear Borrello screaming to his teammates to switch the play a little bit. Back it comes though. Birchall up. Launi like a magnet at the moment. The pass into the feet of Borrello. Jinks one way then the other. Jones sticks with him. Nieuwenhof. Under pressure, but possession is a precious thing, and it's very hard to get the ball off Callum Nieuwenhof. Like it is this man, Milos Ninkovic. Traore, though, has given it away very cheaply. Miller now. Traore makes amends, and Beadling gets it forward towards Borrello. Western Sydney have the best defence in the division. As it's a long ball for Launi to chase, and he's got the better of Vujitsa again. The cut back for Borrello. And we have become expectant of Brandon Borrello to do better in that kind of situation this season.
This is superb from Launi. How dangerous he was in the Sydney Derby a couple of weeks ago. Puts it on for Brandon Borrello there, and the form he's in, I think everyone was expecting that to at least force some work out of Philip Curta.
And there is the Brazilian Marcelo, who's going to be a familiar face in Western Sydney for several months yet. He's just signed a new deal for next season. And the family, I'm sure, must be enjoying life in Sydney. Some similarities to Rio de Janeiro. Schneider straight through the back of De Silva, and the yellow card is out of the pocket. That's the two. Western Sydney Wanderers holding midfielders on yellow cards. 36 minutes into this. Birchall finding Ninkovic. Amalfitano, the pass just behind him though. The timing not quite right. Now De Silva for Vujitsa. Almost ploughed a new furrow on that left-hand side there, Vujitsa, as he planted his foot and it went sliding through the turf. Silva. Talk about that expectation, a quality footballer. Danny De Silva, who's looking for the ball, looking to be involved, looking to try and make things happen. Ugla and McGing win it back. Jones with Holman. Bacchus, brother of Soperu Keanu Bacchus. Now Miller. Just showed too much of that to Launi.
Really interesting as the half develops, and we've seen enough of this guy, Launi, now to know just what a powder keg of trouble he is. Wurtz has done well in possession tonight, but he's found him difficult to handle, Launi. Left fullback for Macarthur against the right winger. Comes a time if this outlet becomes more consistently utilised by.
Miller's done well, and Holman's cross built by Lawrence Thomas, with Lockie Rose lurking.
By the Wanderers to just have a consideration of moving Matt Miller back to left fullback. Macarthur enjoying having their top scorer playing an advanced role. This is a nice little play. Holman been very, very busy getting in behind and forcing a little bit of trouble for Lawrence Thomas. There's Matt Miller now, at least playing on the left wing. Maybe that's the halfway house that Macarthur are looking for.
Launi's touch was good. Ninkovic trying to go again. Lovely little passage of play from Western Sydney, but now it's Macarthur who look to break forward again. Miller against Murchula. He looks up, crosses to the back post. Rose managed to get his head on it over Traore. No trouble that time.
Just missed a player getting forward in support as well. Whether or not, had Lockie Rose had that opportunity and a supporting midfielder that knocked the ball down to him, it would have been interesting for the referee. Whether he would have then decided that Lockie Rose had climbed or used Adama Traore as a stepladder to get to that ball. Game poised nicely. Very productive half for both teams. Macarthur in particular, given the two previous matches against the Wanderers, will be pretty buoyed by what they've put out tonight. Kept it at 0, had a couple of good chances themselves. They've looked solid and compact. The touchline's been the biggest problem for them because of Launi. Otherwise, they've done well to contain the Wanderers.
Ninkovic for Traore. Back post. Wanderers have really been excellent in first halves so far this season as well. And they've won a very attacking free kick here. Miller claiming he took the ball and nothing more off Aidan Simmons.
I think he fouled him, although it should be said Aidan Simmons has lost his balance a few times tonight. Big defensive moment this for Macarthur.
41st minute. Philip Curto. Setting up just Lockie Rose to cover that near post. It does look as though it's going to be heading across the face. In it comes Schneiderlin, forcing Curto to just try and get a hand on it, which he does in the end to good effect. Malfitano, clever pass for Ninkovic. Malfitano again, cross in. Defensive header by Jones, and how about that for a finish? Brandon Borello is scoring for fun. And from 20 metres out from goal, he's caught Philip Curto unawares, as well as the Macarthur defence. And Western Sydney have the lead.
Well, the resistance broken on the Harvey Norman replay. It's a good header out from Ollie Jones in a defensive sense, but he didn't have enough teammates who could react in time. Really strong from the youngster. Great touch and finish. Instinctive from Brandon Borello. Out of reach of Philip Curto. Strong work from Jones. Classy work from Borrello. No chance for Curta.
The 9th goal of the season for Brandon Borrello. The 4th time this season he's opened the scoring. And the Western Sydney Wanderers have not lost when scoring first this campaign. And it's a triumvirate, a hat-trick, the trifecta for Brandon Borrello as well. He's now scored in each of the 3 matches against Macarthur FC and becomes the first player in this fixture as well to reach 3 goals. Uli Davila has also scored 2 in this fixture, but he's out for the season. Nazani's out for the season. Georgian striker Bachana Arabuli and Charles Mombwa had a training session before today to warm up. You can see just how much of this crowd is supporting Western Sydney Wanderers there. They launched the active support, launching the chant towards the main stand on that far side and getting very good response. All the way through to Lawrence Thomas.
Well, it's just one of those things in football. The brilliance of Borrello. He's really on top of his game at the moment. Give the Macarthur coach ushering Ollie Jones into senior football. He actually pat him on the back and said that was a really strong bit of work defensively. Just fell from a Macarthur viewpoint to probably the worst person that could have.
Western Sydney looking for a 4th away win this season. It would be their 3rd in Sydney to go with that 1-0 victory in round 2 away to Melbourne victory, courtesy of Tommy Murchula. Ninkovic was lurking at the back post and would have been happy to take full advantage of that, has it just not skewed away from him.
Now we're just, in golfing terms, a bit of a draw on this one from Borrello, but he saw Ninkovic.
Two minutes. Well, they're enjoying having a side fighting for the finals. Simmons. No free kick this time. Widza. Look at that from Amor Layuni screaming at the youngster Aidan Simmons. Oh, Ninkovic, clever little pass for Traore. Brilliant piece of defending. Nieuwenhof with the follow-up. How about that for a challenge from Jake McGing? Right back to deny Adama Traore.
Well, that was the moment. It would have been a rare one as Adama Traore bore down, found by Ninkovic. Macarthur got themselves into a pickle there. Ninkovic, beautiful pass. It's a great stretch. And then good pressure from Maspero Potomides to force Callum Nieuwenhof shot wide, but it could easily have been 2 for the Wanderers there.
And Mayet as well. The corner in, headed away by Bacchus. Nieuwenhof gets it back from Traore. Schneiderlin looking for the little flick. Simmons for Layuni. You mentioned powder keg that is Amor Layuni. Earlier he actually arrived from Norwegian football with a reputation for having just that. A very fiery character who had been out of favour the last season after a couple of great campaigns, but it's not him that's making the difference at half-time in Campbelltown. It's that man, the Socceroo and very much the man of the moment in an attacking sense. Tried at centre forward in the absence of Krpic earlier this season. He has made that place his own, Brandon Borrello. And it's his 9th goal of the campaign that separates the two sides here in the battle for the West. It's going for the moment the way the first two have this season, towards the red and black side of town. It's the Western Sydney Wanderers leading Macarthur FC by 1-0. And as the players head into the changing rooms, we'll head to a quick break and we'll be back with Tara Rushton and the lads for the halftime show.
Get the pass, let's go, let's go. Like, these moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, look nice. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. The way we build is strong and tactical, moving big, impacting radical. Always maximum and past the capital. Never ration, though this talent matching. Yo, got a problem.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu UTE. It's going bigger and better than ever, with the winner of the prestigious award receiving $10,000. Plus, the Isuzu UTE Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club of choice to win a brand new top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX during the grand final in June. To stay in touch with the leaderboard, tune in for weekly updates at your new home of football.
Well, the news is not all good for Macarthur. If you look at the statistics, and historically they've lost all 8 matches where they were trailing at half-time this season, Macarthur FC. So if they want to keep those season hopes alive, they have to turn it around here. On the other hand, the last time the Western Sydney Wanderers lost while leading at half-time, well, it was more than 3 years ago, back in November 2019. Marcelo has just spotted himself on the big screen, watching from the sidelines, suspended this evening, and perhaps we'll wait and see, suspended for another match. Not to suggest that is definitely the case, but his case has been put to deliberation. No changes to either side at half-time as we're ready for the start of the second half here in Campbelltown. Brandon Borello's goal, the difference from what was, in the end, transforming Western Sydney's domination onto the scoreboard because they had the better of that opening half of football. Andy Harper, and for Macarthur, they do have attacking options on the bench, and probably it won't be too long before Mile Sturjovski heads to his substitutes to try and pull this one out of the fire, as Miller with the perfect start. So close, Jake Holman steering that ball just the wrong side of the post.
Well, there's a bit of tonic for Macarthur fans. A barnstorming run from Matt Miller. Just a little bit too much on that maybe for Jake Holman. Still a great chance. No one stopping Matt Miller in that move. Talk about raging bull.
Jake Holman, who scored his only other A-League goal against Western Sydney last season. And how important would that one have been? How dearly they need an equaliser here. And if they get it, it's going to be so tight right to the end of this season for that final 1 or 2 spots in the finals. We'll see if Melbourne Victory can keep their faintest of faint hopes alive tomorrow, while at the same time dragging Wellington Phoenix into a fight they didn't see coming just a few weeks ago when they were looking one of the favourites for finals football. It can all turn very, very quickly. If it stays this way, Western Sydney Wanderers will be 8 points clear, potentially 8 points clear of 7th place. Oh, as Borello tells Amalfitano to leave it so that he can get there. Here he is. Now, was he shooting there, Brandon Borello? The power would suggest yes.
Yeah, wrong option though. Had plenty of numbers. Off balance, really tight angle. I mean, really hit back against Brandon Borello generally these days, but he did have a couple of good options. It was a mouth-watering pass from Schneiderlin.
De Silva with Bacchus. McGing. Ali Ugla, who started brightly before drifting a little bit out of the game. McGing with Holman. Little triangle with De Silva. Looking for space to cross, but the cross doesn't come. De Silva again with Holman. Just ceded the initiative there, Macarthur. Holman, difficult pass, looking for McGing. He goes again though, and with the help of De Silva, no, foul, says the referee on Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin. Beedling. He's looked comfortable every time he's been called upon this season at the back. Jerry Scatardis, champion last season with Western United. He's found opportunities hard to come by, no matter which coach he was under this season. Jacob Burns telling him to go and warm up. He started last week, been replaced by Holman in the starting 11 this evening. It's Thomas all the way back, but Holman and Rose trying to press, but not being supported by the rest of the team. Not enough anyway. Merchela with Schneiderlin. Big switch of play for Amalfitano. Bacchus trying to close down Nieuwenhof. Little touch for Ninkovic. Second little touch as well. Launi charging forward. The referee decided there. There's been not enough advantage apparently for Ben Abraham, so he's brought it back to a free kick. Marco Rudan wants even more, a yellow card as well.
Well, it's a clear foul, but is it advantage or not?
Well, Launi's got down to the byline and whipped a cross in. Where's the yellow card, says Marco Rudan.
I don't have a problem with that question, because I think it probably is a yellow card, but I don't know that you get two bites at the cherry.
Milej Strzowski and Marco Rudan had a couple of words after the last 4-0 victory at Combank Stadium for the Wanderers. Now, Yeni Mbakoto has scored 2 free kicks this season already for Western Sydney. It's Brandon Borello that fancies this one though. Straight into the wall. Nieuwenhof hits it left-footed. Now is that taken a deflection? Yes. Another corner to follow.
Well, danger still very present for Macarthur, which just keeps the fuse running on that potential bomb of controversy about the advantage, not advantage, come back for the free kick. Great opportunity this for the Wanderers.
Ball in back post, Curto just flapping it away from Beedling, who you can see thought that his eyes were lighting up there. We've got a Macarthur player who's down injured as Schneiderlin goes across to take the corner from the other side.
Just got his goalkeeper's elbow in his chops there.
Schneiderlin down in front of his adoring supporters. In it comes short, cleared by Lockie Rose. And Western Sydney rebuild from the back with Traore. At least Philip Curto showing a little bit of urgency there to get the game back underway. Just moving a little gingerly, perhaps, trying to run something off. There's the pass looking for Miller. Nieuwenhof again securing possession with his always first touch away from the defender near him. Coming short, but there's some more aggressive defending from Ali Ugla that time. Uglar again, closing down Traore.
Yeah, how do Macarthur shuffle this pack? What can they do that's going to start to cause the Wanderers defenders some nervousness, give them something to think about? I think the speed and the power of Al-Hassan Toure might be one. The repositioning of Ali Uglar, who's a very light in his feet. Tricky customer, it looks like, but very isolated and uninvolved on the wing. Maybe to put him somewhere a little bit more central where the game comes to him a little bit more.
It's nicely done. Launi looking to get it back from Borrello. Bacchus is there. De Silva. The high press from Western Sydney though. And they've won it back 30 yards out. Ninkovic, lovely touch. Launi. Well, Macarthur can learn from that excellent high press from Western Sydney for how to do it at the other end. Now, can the balls break? Uglar, fouled by Ninkovic. McGing for Holman. Ooh. Looked like he was bundled over there by Roman Amalfitano. And he's won it back though, picking Ninkovic's pocket. Miller. Just too many green shirts in that area of the field to go looking for a pass to feet. Al-Hassan Toure, Jerry Scatadas then have been called back to the bench, told to get ready. The first roll of the dice from Mile Sturjovski. Holman can't stick the pass for Uglar. Back with Beedling. Schneiderlin looks long for Borrello. Always full of running. Trying to stretch the defence, and Traore looking to run onto that ball. De Silva does well. Uglar. Early ball looking for Rose. Oh, the bounce has beaten Beedling. Rose still. Here's McGing. Uglar wants it into the area. One way then the other. Holman outside with McGing again. The ball driven in hard. Cleared away. Wietza with De Silva. Now Miller. Oh, and Nieuwenhof read him like a book there, but they've got it back only briefly, and now Launi. His turn to hand the ball over. A little bit ragged from both sides. Incredible what a little bit of urgency can do, a little bit of pressure in defence.
This is too slow from Macarthur though. They did win that ball back in a good position. And it's taken them hours to get themselves ready to attack. You've got to be more instinctive. They've got to do things quicker though. All they've succeeded in doing is allow the Western Sydney Wanderers to get in deep and in together and compact, keep the game in front of them again.
13 shots to 5 in favour of Western Sydney this evening. Uglar. Telegraphed and easily read by Schneiderlin. Amalfitano. Western Sydney, as we've seen so many times this evening, happy to build from the back and largely unpressured to do so. Happily knocked the ball around. Ninkovic coming short this time. Traore fighting an overlapping run from Schneiderlin that was not forthcoming. Ninkovic's run was, but Ninkovic and his 38 years are not going to run that down. So the first changes come. Ali Uglar makes way for Al Hassan Toure on that right wing attacking position, and it's Holman who makes way for Skotadis. Also going to make way. Scandinavian-born Tunisia international makes way for a French-born Congo international. It really is the world game. Yeni Bakoto with a fantastic career in France and in Europe. Also spent time in England. Bakoto, Queen's Park Rangers, as well as a spell with Panathinaikos in Greece. Kept in play only just. Ninkovic, clever. Always looks like he's got time on the ball. Was open on the left, Fiedling didn't see him, perhaps now he does. All the way back again, it's really up to Macarthur to come and get this ball. Western Sydney are leading. This is 3 crucial points for them and no crucial points for Macarthur at home. If they can't step on the accelerator, if they can't decide to try and take this game to Western Sydney, pressure them, try and win the ball back high up the pitch. Instead, at the other end, Amalfitano. The header from Jones means that it's an attacking throw now for Western Sydney. Schneiderlin with Traore. Western Sydney too easily bringing the ball back down. Here's Aidan Simmons down that right wing, past Skotadis, the cutback from Bakoto, the shot blocked by McGing and almost fell to Borello. Now Ninkovic. Oof. Well, that would have been something. Ninkovic again, running at Bacchus, outside with Schneiderlin, losing his balance. Might ask for it back again. Oh, Traore was very, very close. Deflected cross, cleared behind by Aspro Potamidis.
Well, not proactive enough, this, from what I'm seeing from Macarthur. They're waiting for something to open up for them, and too many players are waiting for one of their teammates to do something. The collective urgency is seriously lacking. And it's not an effort or a bad attitude, it's just the penny's not dropped. They've got to get a spark, they've got to get going, they're going to run out of time. Western Sydney Wanderers are cruising, they've earned that right. They're a team in good shape, players in great form. A good goal from Borello to separate the teams. It's up to Macarthur. How much do you want to come and change this paradigm?
Well, Donovan said it as well at half-time. They've got to have a go. For the moment, that's not happening. As you say, it's not from a lack of effort. Rocky Rose is working very hard, but one out. You can see the shots at goal. Shots on target, ironically, actually in Macarthur's favour. 3-2. It keeps it in place. Guitaris. And into Macarthur. Expected goals. Telling a story there. Let's head down to Tristan McManus on the sidelines. Tristan.
Hello, guys. Yeah, it just feels like a matter of time before Wanderers get that second goal. I think if it does come, I think we could see the floodgates open a little bit. It's funny that they've beaten them 4-0 twice. They need a 4-0 here to jump Mariners. I don't think Macarthur are necessarily in the game. I don't think they're out of it. But that Matt Miller chance right in the first couple of seconds of the second half, I think they really needed that one. Here's a goal.
Off the crossbar. And Macarthur clears the danger. Now ball on the right. Al Hassan Toure, ball in. Bacchus. De Silva. Looking to try and make something happen. Is that the little spark that Macarthur need? Just something to show them the way forward. Jones with Vujitsa. Bacchus. That's as close as they've come. The header off the crossbar. And one for McGing. They're in behind the McGing here. Rose in the middle. And they have their goal. Less than a minute after being denied by the woodwork. And it's their captain this evening, Lockie Rose, who draws them back on level terms. Who lights the way out of the darkness for Macarthur. Is their season still alive?
Well, the bells are ringing, and so you'd say yes on the Harvey Norman replay. Great change from Mile Stojovski. Two lovely balls from Al Hassan Toure. Both to Jake McGing. First, McGing's header hits the crossbar, but this in behind Adama Traore. Excellent work from Jake McGing, completely aware of what was on, and what was on was the skipper, Lavian Rose, who scores the equaliser here in Campbelltown.
(1-1) just before the midway point of this second half. And it's Lockie Rose with 2 goals in 2 games. 4 for the season. Just as it looked as though Western Sydney were cruising. It's one of the substitutes, Al Hassan Toure, again involved. May only have 2 goals this season, as well as being instrumental in the cup run earlier this campaign. But he also has 5 assists this term, and that was the pass that led to the assist that time.
Well done to coach Mile Stojovski, as the change worked, and a bit of positivity. Players running forward, crisp passes forward into space, and the ultimate reward.
They've proven tough to break down at home under Mile Stojovski. Just the 1 loss on a remarkable evening where the match lasted several hours due to lightning strikes. They went down to a Trent Buhaja goal, 1-0 to Newcastle. But otherwise, win over Phoenix, win over Brisbane, and then a draw with Melbourne City here. So they have shown that they can stay in matches. That when they're without the ball and struggling, they can weather it. Yellow card for Jonathan Aspro-Potomides.
And from their comfortable position now, the Wanderers. What do they do to shake Macarthur loose?
Well, before this season, they'd never beaten Macarthur in 5 previous matches. They've beaten them twice at home now this season. They've never won here. And you just wonder if the tide could turn. It'd be a fairly monumental swing on what we've seen in the first 65 minutes, but they're back on level terms. It's the first goal they've managed to muster against Western Sydney Wanderers this term as well. Keeps it in play, only just. Oh, but he's given it away now. The Bulls have their tails up. Here's De Silva. Danny De Silva, little ball into McGinn. Great save. Lawrence Thomas at his near post.
Well, didn't McGinn do well to force the save? But awkwardly behind him. Lovely ball from Lockie Rose out to Danny De Silva, who just tries to get the ball through for a first-time finish. It's not going to make it through to Matt Miller, I don't think. So Jake McGinn gets his back foot behind him, takes a touch, and then has to scoop at goalwood. It's a great attack from Macarthur. Good save, Lawrence Thomas.
The corner in. Just the third of the night for the Bulls. It's repelled at the near post, but they still have the ball. And they're at last looking like a side that know what to do with it. Look at the space. Again for McGinn, now Alassane Toure. Whips the cross in, the touch from McGinn. And Lockie Rose was just caught on his heels.
Well, he's on point, Alassane Toure. He's always such an exciting talent that we're still really waiting to develop into full form. But all of his offerings since coming off the bench have been on point. Just pressing high now. It's incredible how goals change mentalities. Macarthur now feel, look how high they're pressing. This is the first time all game. And they've got their point. When they were chasing the game, they were way more conservative.
The big switch of play for Traore. Near post was a good ball in for Borrello. Well, Macarthur have scored 6 goals in the last 15 minutes of matches. It's more than they've scored in any other period of the match. Are we set for another grandstand finish here?
It's certainly got that feel about it. The Wanderers remain very, very hungry to get level on third with the Central Coast. Need the win to do that.
And it comes near post. Borrello again throwing himself at the ball. Skotadis. Wrestling and fouling Nieuwenhof. No doubt about that. Substitution, and it's an attacking one from the Western Sydney Wanderers. Marco Rudan taking off his French holding midfielder in Morgan Schneiderlin and bringing on Kusini Yengi. scorer of important goals. Macarthur's ball, back post, is over here. That's disappointing.
Interesting change, that really interesting. Focusing on Milos Ninkovic and thinking maybe he's not 100% fit, but brings enormous quality, of course. You look at some of the diagonal balls, switches of play that Schneiderlin has hit, and here's a go-to.
Down the left-hand side, Miller, the flag down for the moment. The cross in towards Rose. It's still alive. McGing again hits it. And the flag eventually up for offside. There is the ladder as it stands. Western Sydney 35 points. They've had those 2 points docked by Lockie Rose. Macarthur 26. Look how tight that is. Sydney on 29 points. If Melbourne Victory get up tomorrow, 3 points separating 6th and 12th with 3 matches left to play. And that would also mean that Wellington were being sucked into it. It hasn't happened yet, of course. At any rate, this one is going all the way to the wire. Make no mistake. As the Wanderers could be letting slip a chance of their own to confirm their place in the 6 for the moment. We only know for sure that Melbourne City and Adelaide United are there. Ninkovic with Yengi. Borello able to bring the ball down in the box. That looked like a hand from Nieuwenhof. Play continues.
"15 very tense minutes coming up. That table, it's just transfixing. Not quite for Macarthur and Milo Stojowski. They've got a big 15 minutes of A-League men's football to come.
And a big 15 minutes in the career of Jed Drew, perhaps, as well, as he replaces the top scorer for Macarthur, Matt Miller, this season with his 5 goals. But Jed Drew, in his first ever season of top-flight football, already has 2. And if you cast your minds back, one of them was a last-minute winner against the Central Coast Mariners as well. Another who was away with the Olyroos during the international break. McGing with Toure. De Silva, he's been everywhere. Outside for Toure again. Cross, back post, only green shirts. Makoto's header in the end is a very good one for Borello. Jed Drew is quick, but Borello is strong and wily as well. But Drew doesn't give up. Drag back, foul, yellow card against Simmons.
That's a great double effort from Jed Drew. Off the bench, exactly what you need, particularly from the youngsters. And he gets the better of his young Socceroos teammate. Aidan Simmons draws him into that yellow card foul. Great double effort from Jed Drew.
McGing has been one of the driving forces as well in this revival. It was his assist just moments after he'd hit the crossbar with a header. Player who's had to bide his time as well. You talk about tension and rolls of the dice and playing your last cards. Now it's Marko Rudan who brings on Bozanic and Milanovic to replace Ninkovic. Adama Traore doesn't want the captain's armband. Give that to somebody else, please. It's Murchela who picks it up off Nick Milanovic. Mid-season arrival from Western United. Milanovic. Here is that header, just moments Lawrence Thomas was beaten. They didn't have long to regret that missed opportunity, though. Western Sydney. You wonder now if the impetus is on them. Currently fourth on the ladder. To go looking again for a winner. Or will they settle for a point? I don't think so. They've had the wood on Macarthur this season. Marco Rudan prides himself, amongst many things, of representing the west of Sydney in these derby matches. They mean just that little bit more. There's Toure, closes down Thomas. His clearance, Milanovic can't keep it in play. Danny De Silva has been so busy. You could hardly see his influence in the first half. But now, it's starting to happen. As Milej Strzowski looks perhaps to another game changer. Moody Najjar.
Hasn't played a lot of football, Moody Najjar, but he's been effective when he's come on. In a game-changing sense, very effective. Craig Noon's got a decent CV as well, so some artillery off the bench for Macarthur.
They have to stay in the contest at the other end, though. Skirtadas, the two former Western United teammates. Skirtadas and Milanovic. And you could hear Brandon Borello there. Not impressed. As here we are, back in the action. In Western Sydney, trying to catch everyone unawares.
Well, busy, but a bad give up there from Danny De Silva. I'm going to say this is exactly the tension, not just that the comp needs with this table run in, but for this derby as a fixture. It's never really kicked off, not as organisers would have imagined. Plenty of reasons for that. But there's nothing like a tooth and nail fight to keep competitions alive for Macarthur and top two positions alive for Wanderers, to really stoke the fire of that rivalry. It's really simmering nicely here.
That pass is disappointing, though. Thomas, there's Jed Drew. Another attacking element. They've won it back high up the pitch with Rose. One way then the other. Drew. The ball in towards Rose. Adama Traore under very little pressure, able to control and bring it away. And Macarthur fouled. Yellow card Bacchus. Macarthur, not to sound too cynical, but cleverly slowing things down a little bit there as well. There's that change, double change is coming now. Moody Najjar comes into the game then. Najjar, they've got a couple of important goals earlier this season. Won a consolation against City. A week later, the winner against the Phoenix. And Craig Noon comes in as well. Really solid starting debut for Ollie Jones as well, who makes way. Zanic's ball overhit to the back. And both sides are going for it. They've brought on attackers, mind you. They had only attackers on the bench for both squads. Didn't really have too many options. Not going conservative. The mild-mannered Mile Sturjovski is going on the attack. Marco Rudan as well. Milanovic wants the free kick, nothing given. Toure under pressure though. Look at the press from Western Sydney, and there the free kick against Bozanic for holding on. McGee under pressure. Well, we were wondering where the response was going to come from Macarthur with an hour gone, thinking at what point are they going to flick the switch and go for it. Well, they have done.
It's been a good half hour. Mile Sturjovski will be really anticipating even more out of this game. They've got themselves into a terrific position. There's a good goal to equalise, and the scoring of that goal has really given the team an injection.
Jed Drew's touch, a little heavy, but again, he wins it back. Not for long. Nieuwenhof. Class. Releasing Macarthur. Now, he has a couple of spectacular goals in his resume as well as his Simmons. Goes without it. And Bacchus launches forward quickly with Craig Noon. Plenty of experience there. Looking for the pace of Drew. Two in the middle to aim for. Cuts it back towards Skotadis. And Yengi does very well with the help of Traore. Both sides have been able to call on quality as well off the bench. Noon and Toure, certainly players capable of making the difference. Yengi, for example, appeals for handball from the entire crowd and bench. Play continues. Milanovic. As Philip Curto reads the situation perfectly.
Pass too heavy from Bakoto. Nice work from Cassini Yengi to make that chance for the Wanderers. Might have been more. You'd expect the class of Bakoto to, as it were, kick in there.
Three minutes left, plus stoppages. Incredibly, when you look at the XG of this contest now, it's in Macarthur's favour. 1.19 against 0.92. That could yet change. Milanovic deflected off Aspro Potomides and into the gloves of Curto, who was watchful and alert.
2 or 3 beautiful runs as a striker from Milanovic.
And on the other end. Oh, pressurised pass from Murchula, finding Bozanic. And now Thomas under pressure as well. Milanovic. Here's that chance earlier. Now Cassini Yengi on the ball, turns inside. Yengi shapes to shoot. Finds Barello. Back for Yengi. Clever little pass. Yengi, surely. Side netting, he's missed it. Cassini Yengi did everything right except apply the finishing touch.
Well, look at this from Barello. I think most were expecting him to shoot first time, but he kept his cool to get around the keeper, and with everything done, he hits the side netting. What an escape from Macarthur. Marco Rudan, I'm sure, can hardly believe it.
And he stays on just 3 goals this season, but here's Borello. Well defended by Ollie Jones, who's still out there, in fact. And he's done well, the kid.
Or are they playing with 12, Robbie? What a great recovery. Ollie Jones had a good game. And just as Brandon Borello was going to try and secure the points for the Wanderers, the youngster, the big-framed youngster, denies the Socceroo.
Kozanek. In it comes, back post. Kurto reaches high, pulls it down and rolls it out to Toure and says, go for it. Bacchus, he won't have the pace to go with Simmons, but he's got the skill. Free kick for Bacchus, as there was no advantage. Macarthur have made all 5 changes. Wanderers still have one up their sleeve. As is Drew with Toure! In the first minute of stoppage time, having suffered, having resisted for 65 minutes of this match, Macarthur and Miles Sturjovski have dipped into their bag of tricks and pulled out a winner.
Well, Bacchus won the free kick. It was taken as quickly as they could on the Harvey Norman replay. Great poise from Craig Noon. But what a substitutions performance from Al-Hassan Toure, a key architect of the equaliser, and now in all probability has hit the winner. There's the cross for Jake McGing earlier. Now it's Craig Noon zeroing in on the box. Al-Hassan Toure beats Lawrence Thomas at the near post to bring the house down in Campbelltown. They can leave it late, the Bulls, and when they do, it's worth watching. What a result this is for the Macarthur Bulls. And that winner, if it's to be, with just 2 minutes and a bit to play, brings into quite sharp focus Cassini Yengi's miss. Was that even a minute earlier, Robbie?
Marco Rudan, I think, is asking that question. Asking himself, how did he miss that? And Miles Sturjovski, quiet, calm, as he always is on the bench, master of his emotions, but inside it must be turmoil. This side without Davila, without Arzani, without the captain Uzkov, without all the leaders. And they were second best for so long this evening, but they have dug deep. And they have found another stoppage time winner.
Well, McGing on the ground did it with the last touch of the game against Brisbane. And Al-Hassan Toure off the bench. There's the foul by Yengi on McGing. Quite superb contribution off the bench from Al-Hassan Toure. An excellent finish. Lawrence Thomas beaten at his near post. It'll make him unhappy. Coach Rudan is a little displeased as well. One can understand the team was cruising in complete control. Macarthur had barely laid a glove on the Wanderers.
"20 seconds left in stoppage time. Milanovic turns inside. Milanovic back outside. Milanovic, the cross towards Bakuto.
Brilliant play from the youngster. Milanovic. He's been dangerous since coming off the bench. That was an amazing run under real pressure. Still time for the Wanderers to get a leveller.
Macarthur's ball in, Curto punches, Borello! Blocked by Buenza. And now Traore. The 4 minutes of stoppage time are up. Aidan Simmons has done brilliantly. He's been absolutely collected by Craig Noon. Done a full aerial 360. He's quickly back to his feet because time is of the essence.
He's cut him in half. Cut him in half, did Craig Noon. It was he got sent off after a minute or so in the last match between these two, which ended up a convincing win to the Wanderers.
The last chance for Western Sydney. Macarthur's ball in, the header, and it's in! And it's Brandon Borello again! As the Western Sydney fans go crazy. Marco Rudan can't quite believe what he's seeing. In the 6th minute of stoppage time, Brandon Borello takes his season into double figures. And in a match that they never looked like losing, they have suddenly managed to salvage a draw.
Well, the desperation of Craig Noon on the Harvey Norman replay gives away the free kick, and Brandon Borello with the most delightful header to angle across and away from Philip Curto and inside the far post to level the scores. Mile Sturjovski asks the match officials, where does the time come from? But they've salvaged it out of the fire, the Wanderers. What a game at Campbelltown.
The final whistle has rung. Well, the emotion of it all is written and etched on the faces of all the coaching staff, of the players. Shake of the hand between the two coaches. Brandon Borello, the hero in extremis for the Western Sydney Wanderers. After Lockie Rose and Al Hassan Toure looked as though they'd provided the home side with an unlikely victory. They can take credit for their performance and hope from the fact that finals football is still alive for them. The Western Sydney Wanderers, with that point, moved to within 2 of third-placed Central Coast Mariners. Desperate disappointment for the Bulls bench, who thought they'd seen them snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, only for the tables to be turned in the 6th minute of stoppage time. Another remarkable match of A-League football. 4 more goals, thrilling stuff. Let's head down to Tristan McManus, providing he hasn't had a heart attack, who's with Lockie Rose.
That's it, yeah, thanks Robbie, I nearly did, I tell you. Lockie, commiserations, head and hands there at the moment. Absolutely devastating end to this game, but what do you make of your team today?
We dug deep, like we performed really well today, and that's a killer. But obviously, like you can't, no words, honestly, it's just, it feels like a loss. Like it's just, yeah.
Complete elation about 5 minutes before it. We really thought you nicked the game there. But, I mean, you were written off before this game. You showed that you've got so much determination. You're a different team here at home. I know it's going to be heartbreaking to take right now, but you're still in with a shout for this 6. And you really showed what your team's made of today against Wanderers.
Yeah, I said to the boys before the game in the huddle before we went in, I just said, look, people have written us off all week. Everyone said, it's going to be a walk in the park for Wanderers, and I said to the boys, like, let's just go out and stuff it, show everyone what we're made of, stuff what everyone says. Everyone's going to have comments, but we've got to prove everyone wrong. I think we did today, but last minute, not even 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, for us, it's just a killer. It's been it's a heartbreaker, to be honest with you.
First game as captain, first goal as captain. What did it mean to you there? I mean, you could see the urgency. I talked to you earlier in the season. I said if every team could have 11 lucky roses, they'd be a very lucky team. What does it mean to you to lead this team tonight, get the goal, and get a very, very well-deserved point?
I personally, I feel it's obviously a privilege to be able to captain this club. Like, obviously, I've been here for 3 years now, and to get the honour to do that, like, means a lot to me. So I just went out there tonight and did everything that I normally do, and just stuck by all the boys and just said to the boys, let's just dig deep tonight. And as I said, kept everything the same, just being myself the whole time. And as I said, just try to work my arse off, to be honest with you, for the team, no matter what situation it is. And I think, for me personally, yeah, it's an achievement, but obviously I would have loved to get a win tonight, just for the fans as well. Like, honestly, we deserved it, to be honest with you. But as I said, that's football, and that's the way. That's why everyone loves it. You know what I mean? These things happen, I guess. But yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today. Congratulations. Guys, I'm also here with Ninko. Ninko, great to speak to you again. What an ending to that game.
Yeah, I think we played very well first half, but second half we start sloppy. We didn't move ball quickly enough, you know, and they scored from obviously from one chance, and obviously after that it was very hard to. Obviously they scored 2 goals, and it was very hard to come back. But at the end, maybe we were lucky that we got the point.
It seemed at one stage of the game, I mean, you were 1-0 up. It looked like you just needed that second goal, and you could have went on and got 4 or 5. And then obviously they came back into the game. But what does it say about your team? Because this is going to be a disappointing point, but a very, very important point.
Yeah, important point, but as you said, disappointing. You know, I think we had great chances in the first half. We should maybe score a few more. And but as you said, we needed second goal, and we knew that it's going to be hard, you know, here, especially because we beat this team 4-0 twice, and we knew that it's going to be hard. But we start second half sloppy. We did the same last week, and again tonight. And as I said, maybe overall we were lucky that we got point at the end.
You weren't you weren't moving the most comfortably there at the end. Did you take a little niggle? You're feeling your hip a little bit?
Yeah, hip and my arm, yeah, but it's nothing. I mean, you know, it's just disappointing that we didn't win that game, and it's really sad. But every time when we had the break, it obviously it's worked against us, you know, and but it is what it is. As I said, we have how many games left? Three games left, and we need to be better. We start every time we start well first half, but the second half we are not there, and we need to change that mentality.
Thanks for talking to me today. I appreciate it. Well done. All the best. Yes, sir.